My name is Emily, and I never imagined my life would twist the way it did. I was a wife, a mother, and for the most part, I thought I was happy. But one night, a single moment changed everything. It was a Saturday afternoon when my husband told me he had to go out of town for business. We had been married for 6 years, and lately things had felt distant. Our conversations had become short, our smiles forced, and intimacy was something we both seemed to avoid. I told myself it was just a phase, that every couple goes through this. But deep down, I felt lonely. And loneliness can make you see things differently. That evening, my husband's old friend, Daniel, came by. He said he was in the neighborhood and thought he'd stop to say hello. Daniel had always been charming, confident, with that easy smile that made people feel seen. We sat in the living room, talking about old times. I laughed more in that 1 hour than I had in months. And I noticed something. The way he looked at me wasn't just friendly. That evening, my husband's old friend, Daniel, came by. He said he was in the neighborhood and thought he'd stop to say hello. Daniel had always been charming, confident, with that easy smile that made people feel seen. We sat in the living room, talking about old times. I laughed more in that 1 hour than I had in months. And I noticed something. The way he looked at me wasn't just friendly. The rain started outside, soft at first, then heavier. Daniel offered to stay until the storm passed. We moved to the kitchen, where the warm light made everything feel more intimate. He stood close as I poured us coffee. Our hands brushed. Neither of us moved away. It was like time slowed down, and I knew we were stepping into dangerous territory. In that moment, I could have stepped back. I could have told him to leave. But instead, I stayed there, frozen in the gravity of something I couldn't fully control. I didn't push him away when he touched my shoulder, or when his voice dropped into that softer tone. I knew it was wrong. But the truth? I didn't want to stop it. The next morning, I woke up with a heaviness in my chest. The guilt hit me hard. My husband called, telling me he missed me, and I felt my stomach twist. Daniel didn't stay long. When he left, he didn't say goodbye in the usual way, just a look that told me we both understood this had changed everything. For days, I replayed it in my mind. It wasn't just about Daniel. It was about me, about how I had been feeling invisible for so long, and how easily that gap had been filled by someone who made me feel seen. But I also knew the cost was high. Trust, once broken, is almost impossible to rebuild. I'm not here to excuse what I did. I crossed a line, and I hurt someone who trusted me. But I've also learned something about relationships. Neglect can be just as dangerous as betrayal. When we stop paying attention to the person we love, we open doors we never meant to open. If I could go back, I would have chosen differently. I would have spoken up about my loneliness instead of letting it guide me into a moment I can't erase. This is my story, not one I'm proud of, but one I hope someone can learn from. Sometimes, temptation comes quietly, and if you're not careful, you'll find yourself in a place you never thought you'd be. Soft fade out.